Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta, Mr. Henry Rotich, Cabinet Secretary for National Treasury, Ms. Amina Mohammed, Cabinet Secretary for Foreign Affairs, other members of the government present, our co-conveners from the African Development Bank and the UN Economic Commission for Africa, partners and grantees from all the sectors represented here, my colleagues from the Rockefeller Foundation, members of the media, esteemed guests. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is my great honor and pleasure to be here to address you today. I would also like to pass on a heartfelt welcome from the Foundation's president, Dr. Judith Rodin, who, with much regret, could not be here today due to other Foundation commitments. Let me start by sharing with you a brief history of who we are and what we do. The Rockefeller Foundation was founded in 1913. For more than 100 years, our mission has been to promote the well-being of humanity throughout the world. Today, we are pursuing that mission through two overarching goals. First, we want to build economies that expand opportunities for more broadly shared prosperity. And second, to build resilience to help people, communities, and institutions prepare for, withstand, and emerge stronger from acute shocks and chronic stresses. Together with partners and grantees, such as many of you here today, the Rockefeller Foundation strives to catalyze and scale transformative innovations, create partnerships that span sectors, and take risks that others cannot. Ladies and gentlemen, throughout our history, the Foundation has seen innovation and impact grow when we bring together actors and partners from different sectors and geographies so that we can learn, debate, and innovate to find solutions to the complex challenges we all face together. The power of partnerships and dialogue cannot be overestimated. And as a foundation, we strongly believe in the possibility to build on each other's ideas, to build on each other's successes, and to learn from each other's failures as well. We come together today with top thought leaders, decision makers, influencers from the public, private, academic, and development sectors to tackle the challenge of how to ensure inclusivity in a time of rapid and exciting growth in Africa. I can think of no better time or more urgent question for us to discuss. Inclusive economies is one of the Rockefeller Foundation's overarching goals, informed by the trends and challenges that we see globally in our work. The same global forces that create risk, volatility, and vulnerability also create unprecedented opportunity. Greater connectedness and information enables increased access to global markets that can expand productive potential and new options for broadly shared prosperity. Fortunately, innovations that were previously unimagined, such as mobile healthcare and banking, access to data, carbon-efficient technologies, and remote learning, are creating opportunities for people previously left out of the mainstream economy. At the same time, new business models and broader economic growth continue to lift up millions of people from poverty. But left unchecked, they can create unintended consequences such as accelerated inequality, social dislocation, and environmental degradation. Conventional wisdom presents these as trade-offs, the rate of growth versus the level of inclusion. We at the Rockefeller Foundation reject this either-or premise and believe these objectives can be both realized through new paradigms. Inclusion does not need to slow down growth, and in fact, a focus on inclusion can create new growth opportunities. This requires redefining how we measure economic progress, development, and human well-being in an unequal and resource-constrained world. Whatever pathway we use to foster development must respond to the varying needs of humanities, from the poor most vulnerable in emergent economies, to the stagnating middle class in many developed countries, and to the youth bulge in many rapidly growing countries, a challenge that is in Africa, where the number of youth aged 15 to 24 will double to 400 million by 2045. Yet, Africa's youth under the age of 25 represents 62% of sub-Saharan Africa's unemployed population, and nearly 3/4 of those live on less than $2 a day. It is clear that there's no shortage of challenges that we need to tackle, especially in Africa, but we believe that an inclusive approach will not only address lack of opportunity, but will aim to tackle problems at their root cause. Cultural and social norms, political institutions, and economic strata are the structures underpinning and reinforcing marginalization of the poor and vulnerable. Government policies, for example, monetary and fiscal policies, rights, trade rules, minimum wage laws, and social service provisions are key determinants of a greater shared prosperity within economies. Business practices, including salary compensation, leave policies, business location decisions, are also critical. The Rockefeller Foundation seeks to inform and influence such policies and practices and break down the barriers to building more inclusive economies. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings me to the unique opportunity offered by this forum. The overall goal of this forum is to develop a common understanding on inclusive economies within the African context. We hope to spend the next 2 days engaging in influential dialogue and action towards greater impact around inclusivity on the continent of Africa. With that in mind, let me pose 3 questions that I hope will help channel and hopefully challenge your own thinking and drive greater dialogue around this critical topic. First, how can the poor and vulnerable benefit from an Africa that is on the rise? And how do we measure this inclusivity? Second, what are the implications and risks of Africa promoting growth that is not inclusive? And third, what factors are critical for the private sector to embed an inclusive approach in current and future business practices, and for governments to provide an enabling environment to accelerate the adoption of inclusive policies? The Foundation is looking forward to hearing your new ideas and innovations for advancing more inclusive economies in Africa. On behalf of myself, the Foundation's President, Judith Roden, and all of my colleagues at the Foundation, I welcome you to this exciting conference. I hope to leave here tomorrow afternoon with a greater sense of how we can all work together to harness the incredible growth in Africa and challenge it to create limitless opportunity for all. Thank you.